Let's welcome on board a guest who's joining in on the show, Bishwajit Bhattacharyya. He's a senior advocate at the Supreme Court and also former additional Solicitor General of the country, and he's joining in live here on the show. Sir, good evening and thank you so much for taking time out for us. Let me begin by asking you about the facts that we know. The government has objected to the elevation of Justice Joseph to the Supreme Court on the ground of regional representation and seniority. These seem like pretty fair grounds, wouldn't you say?
Well, as of today, 7 vacancies exist in the Supreme Court. Honorable Justice R.K. Agarwal is going to retire on 4th of May. So there will be 8 vacancies. So I have read the letter which government has written today to the Chief Justice of India and through him to the Collegium. All the grounds there are utterly untenable for the simple reason that it is entirely the prerogative of the Collegium to choose and select. And when a judge will be appointed, who will be coming first, who will be coming next, is the prerogative of the Collegium. Now, government is trying to dictate that. And I am convinced in this needless confrontation, government will fail. Because Collegium has considered Justice K.M. Joseph's credentials, a judge with an outstanding independence, integrity and impartiality. He delivered a brilliant judgment in that Uttarakhand case. So therefore, to talk about regional representation and all these things are all fine, very fair, I agree with you. But how do you presume that in the next 6 or 7 vacancies, the Collegium will overlook that?
That actually takes me...
Justice Joseph's transfer, Justice Joseph's transferred was stalled. Can I just
Yes,
tell
please.
you?
Yes, go ahead.
Justice Joseph's transfer to Hyderabad was stalled. It remains under suspension. So effectively, in my view, the government is under contempt. But Collegium is taking a sort of lenient view, and government is testing its grounds and taking the Collegium and the Supreme Court for granted. I think it's playing with fire, because the tone of the letter also today states that the government is of the firm view that the Supreme Court judgment in 2nd judge's case and 3rd judge's case will be obeyed, etc. Now, it is preposterous to state that the Collegium will ignore the judgments of the Supreme Court,
right,
which itself created the Collegium.
But sir,
So all these grounds are utterly frivolous.
Sir, if I can just add
And
to that.
overall 40% vacancies exist. Overall 40% vacancies exist in the country.
Sure, absolutely. But sir, in the same
So this
breath,
is a larger game plan. So this is a larger game plan to checkmate the judiciary. Judiciary can't afford to lose in this. And if judiciary loses, India's democracy collapses.
okay. Sir,
So
but the
this
CGI has said,
avoidable
sir, if I can just,
confrontation
but
of
sir, the CGI has said that the government is well within its right to send back any name for reconsideration. So obviously, it doesn't seem like, this is not something that's not sort of, constitutional to that extent, isn't it? So there's that question. And then, you're of course talking about the fact that the political overtone that it's taken.
You see, CGI
Yes.
CGI has correctly stated that the government is well within its right to send back the recommendation. I am not on that. But the government received the communication on 19th of January. And today on 26th of April, after 97 days, the government is clearing an outstanding lawyer, Indu Malhotra, and depriving another outstanding Chief Justice, that is K.M. Joseph, Justice K.M. Joseph. And Justice K.M. Joseph, the whole world knows because he delivered a telling judgment against the government, which the government has not been able to digest. In fact, this entire controversy is needless. This entire letter which has gone for reconsideration, the government is within its right asking the Collegium to reconsider, but I am convinced Collegium will reconsider and will again send it back. At that time, the government will have to appoint.
Okay.
And I don't think government will risk more contempt, because it is in continuous contempt. And our honorable great Supreme Court judges have so far been extremely considerate, lenient. One honorable Chief Justice broke down in sort of Vigyan Bhavan. So government is taking the polite behavior of the Supreme Court and Collegium as weakness.
Okay.
But
So,
if a situation is created, if the Supreme Court and the Collegium reiterate and hold that the government is contempt by, it's a larger plan. Kindly see in Calcutta High Court also. Calcutta High Court is functioning with only 40% of its strength.
Okay.
The judiciary is being sort of crippled. Litigants are the worst, sufferers. The common man in the street is not getting any justice because his case is not getting listed. And this is an orchestrated plan for the past 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
It's high time the Supreme Court rises to the occasion,
okay.
and majesty of the Constitution is upheld decisively by the full court. There is no other option left today in the country, because situation is so bad that it can't get any worse.
Okay, sir, okay, now let me ask you about what's happening parallelly, and that is, you know, political parties, the Congress sort of making political hay here, almost at the behest of the judiciary. How would you respond to some of the allegations and accusations that are coming in from the Congress, saying that it's really revenge politics at play, and some very damning insinuations also, you know, being brought up?
You see, this politics I want to eschew, because all political parties are hand in glove to checkmate the judiciary. In National Judicial Appointment Commission case, in which I happen to be a petitioner in person, the Congress and the BJP join hands, and entire parliament, minus perhaps only Mr. Ram Jethmalani, voted against the judiciary. So therefore, I don't understand politics. I am not in politics. I will never be in politics, and no one will take me in politics. I am only for the independence of the judiciary.
Okay.
This independence of the judiciary is non-negotiable. As the great Chief Justice Lodha stated, it is non-negotiable.
All right,
Gopal
so
Subramaniam's appointment was stalled. Now, all the appointments are being stalled. Vacancies are not being filled. Justice Joseph's file, the government sat for 97 days. And today you are raising a query, it is adding insult to injury.
all right, sir. So we
So
hear.
therefore, what BJP is saying, what Congress is saying is irrelevant. Today,
Okay.
the institution of judiciary is under threat. So therefore, both Congress and BJP must join hands again now to protect the institution of the judiciary from going down, because you are letting down the people of India, you are letting down the common man, and Supreme Court. It's time, all the judges must collectively be united and strong to uphold the majesty and sanctity of law.
So-
The rule of law in India reigns supreme. That's why, that is why India is different from our neighboring countries. Here, if you take on the highest court, what highest court can do, our politicians are not realizing still. You need one one judge, one bench to set the government right.
All right, sir.
And
So
that
we
will
hear
happen.
you
If
loud
this
and clear.
continues,
So we hear
this
you
will
loud
happen.
and clear, but I'm afraid we're going to have to end this discussion right here. But thank you so much for taking time out for us this evening and really, weighing in on what clearly has been grabbing the headlines now for many days. We really appreciate you taking time out. Thank you so much, sir. Well, let's